Most hikers don't get tired because they're weak. A lot of times they get tired because they accidentally turn the entire trail into a workout. You start the hike off feeling pretty good. Then your first heel shows up. And next thing you know, your breathing starts changing. Your steps start getting heavier. And then all of a sudden, the hike starts to feel harder than it should. Most people blame this on their legs. But I think that the problem usually starts before you even start getting tired. So before you blame your fitness, let's take a look at where the energy is actually going. Usually the first place you start to see the issues is right at the beginning of the hike. The first place that you start to leak energy is by starting off too fast. And this is easy to do because at the beginning of the hike, you normally feel pretty good. Your legs are fresh. You're excited to get out on the trail. And without even thinking about it, you start hiking at a pace that you hope you can do for the whole trail. But this is not always the pace that your body's actually ready to pay for. For the first few minutes, it may actually feel totally fine. But then the trail starts to climb a little. And then your breathing starts changing. Your legs start to feel a little sore. And now instead of settling into the hike, your body is already starting to try to recover. I get it. I've done this plenty of times, especially when I'm excited or just trying to make good time. Or maybe I'm just not paying attention. But I've learned over the years, the beginning of the hike is not where you prove that you're a rock star. It's where you need to try to settle in. So start a little easier than you think you need to, especially for the first 10 or 15 minutes. Try to keep your breathing calm. Let your legs slowly warm up. Let your body slowly find a rhythm before you start asking too much of it. Because if you spend too much energy early on, the rest of the trail can feel harder than it needs to. But even if you start off better, the next energy link shows up as soon as the trail starts to climb. A lot of hikers treat hills like it's something that they need to conquer. The trail goes up and everything starts changing. The pace that felt fine just a few minutes ago suddenly starts to feel a little too fast. But instead of backing off, a lot of people tend to lean into it. They push harder. They breathe harder. And soon it turns into this little fight with a hill. And guys, I get it. Sometimes you just want to get the hill over with. You end up thinking that I'll just push to the top and then I'll take a break when I get there. And on a short hill, maybe that works. But on a longer hike, especially with a pack on, every uphill push that you do has a cost. A hill's not a test that you have to pass. It's just part of the trail that you have to manage. So when the trail gets steeper, let your pace change. That's not failing. It's just hiking smarter. Shorten your stride. Let your breathing stay controlled. Use your poles lightly if you have them. And don't try to force your flat ground pace while you're going up the hill. The goal is not to be super fast. The goal is to find a pace that you can keep doing. And this is where a lot of hikers accidentally turn every uphill step into a mini lunge. This next one's easy to miss. Overstriding. And all I mean by that is taking steps that are a little too long for the trail you're on. Especially if you're going uphill. When you're tired, or you're trying to climb faster, it's natural to try to reach out further with your foot. It actually makes you feel like you're getting more done. But sometimes, that longer step actually costs you more than it gives you. If every uphill step actually feels like a little squat or a little lunge, your stride might be too long for the climb. Now watch what changes when the step gets shorter. It may not look as strong, it may not look as impressive, but it's smoother. And smoother usually lasts longer. That's a big part of hiking well. It's not always about making the strongest move. Sometimes it's about making the move that you can keep repeating for miles and miles ahead. But not every energy leak is in your legs. This next energy leak is not actually in your legs. It's in how your whole body reacts when the trail starts to get hard. A lot of hikers will tense up. Their shoulders end up coming up. Maybe their hands start to grip the poles a little tighter. Their jaw tightens. Their breathing starts getting shorter. And without realizing it, their whole body starts to react like the trail is a fight. That may not ruin a hike all by itself, but it does cost you something. So every once in a while, especially on a climb, I like to do a quick body check. Check your shoulders, your hands, your jaw, your breath. If everything feels tight, I take a moment and I reset. Drop your shoulders, loosen your hands, take one slower breath, and then keep moving. That's not meant to sound like some deep meditation thing. It's just practical. If your whole body's bracing against the trail, you're probably spending energy that you don't need to spend. And the next one may sound obvious, but I think a lot of people notice it way too late. A lot of hikers wait way too long to eat or drink. And I'm not saying that you need to turn every hike into a complicated nutrition plan, but there is a big difference between trying to stay a little bit ahead of your body and trying to catch up after you're already behind. A lot of hikers have food and water with them out on the trail. They just typically wait too long to use it. They wait until they're already thirsty. They wait until they start getting hangry. They wait until their legs start to feel sore. And then they stop and try to fix everything all at once. But by that point, you may already be behind. So instead of waiting for the crash, I like to tie food and water to simple moments on the trail. Maybe the top of the climb, a trail junction, maybe a quick view stop. It doesn't have to be a big break. You can take a small sip, maybe just take a few bites. Just something simple. The point is to stop treating food and water like it's emergency repairs and start treating them more like maintenance. Because if you wait till you're completely drained to take care of your body, you're already going to be behind. But there's one energy leak that I think a lot of hikers miss, and it happens after the hard part. This one took me a while to notice. A lot of hikers finish the climb, but they never take time for the reset. They get to the top, and even though the trail is easier now, their body is still acting as if they're climbing. Their breathing may still be high, their shoulders are still tight, and their body's still in climbing mode. So the top of the hill is not always where you want to speed up. Sometimes it's where you need to take a moment to reset. And that doesn't mean that you need to sit down for 20 minutes. It might just mean that you just slow down for 30 seconds. Take a sip of water, drop your shoulders, let your breathing settle for a little bit, and just look around for a second. After that, then you can ease back into your normal pace. That little reset can keep one hard section from turning the next mile into a big struggle. And when you put all of this together, the real patterns start to show up. Here's the pattern that I want you to notice. Most hikers don't get tired because of one huge mistake. They get tired because of a bunch of small energy leaks. Maybe you start a little too fast. You take steps that are a little too long. Maybe you push a little hard uphill. Or you carry tension in your shoulders and your breathing. Maybe you wait a little long to eat or drink. None of these feel like a huge deal in the moment. But after a few miles, your body's been paying for all of them. And that's why hiking can suddenly feel harder than it should. It's not always weakness. Sometimes you're just spending energy in places that you didn't realize. And once you can notice that, you can actually start changing it. Not everything at once, just one piece at a time. So when you start feeling tired on the trail next time, here's one simple rule I use. Hike at a pace that your body can keep paying for. If your breathing starts getting away from you, back off a little bit. If your steps start getting heavy, well then shorten them. If your shoulders start to creep up, take a moment and relax them. If you keep thinking that maybe I'll eat later, then maybe you should actually eat now. And if a climb hits hard, maybe give yourself a little bit of a reset before you charge on to the next section. Getting tired doesn't mean that you failed. Hiking is physical. You're going to work at it. But if you can stop leaking energy in all the small places, the hike will feel a lot smoother. Not because it becomes easier, but because it stops feeling like you're fighting the trail the whole time. If you want a more practical version of this, I made a video on how to hike longer without getting tired. I'll link that here because I think it really pairs well with this one. And if you're brand new to backpacking, I've created a beginner starter kit that'll help you get out on the trail and get started. I'll make sure to link that in the description below. As always, guys, I hope this was useful for you, and hopefully I see you out on the trail.